I put off making this video for way too long. In light of the Newsday article on the 3rd of December 2020, I thought it was time. I am not ever going to renew my PriceSmart card. Never, ever, unless there's drastic change at that organization. I was a member of PriceSmart for many, many years. I think it was around 2004 I took out my first business card. Yes, business card. I do have a legally registered business in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. This will be important in just a sec. I never really thought it was worth it, but the membership was shared as per their rules. The person I shared with had a large family, so he gained a lot of benefits from membership. The bulk purchases on certain items did save me, at least, a lot of trips to the supermarket. Snacks and non-perishables, basic food items, could be stored for a long time. Drinks were competitively priced, and that selection was somewhat remarkable. Well, remarkable in terms of Trinidad. So I didn't mind really having the membership. The selection of electronics was also quite good. I still have a Sony amp bought, I think, in 2008. That is, still, the heart of my home entertainment system. I got the last one, or the demo unit, at almost half the price. I also still have a LED desk lamp found on their discount table, still in perfect shape. I'm also still using hand soap, bought just before deciding not to renew membership. This has been nothing short of a godsend in this pandemic. There were also quite a few incentives to renew. The discounts at Payless was appealing. I like to wear a certain brand of Capto Oxford that only they sell, so that discount was quite welcome. I'm also using a gym bag from one of their renewals, so that wasn't too bad. However, the relationship between PriceSmart and this former member has always been a rocky one. Well, rocky from my point of view, because, I suppose, they already had my money. I have had no end of complaints regarding their horrible service. My very first experience with bad service was soon after getting the card. This occurred at the Chaguanas location. As I said before, it is a business card. The very first thing is their site is purporting business benefits. I have yet to see these benefits. Emails to the business service department were always met with very scant information. Up to this day, I cannot really figure out what the benefits of having this class of card is. One such email was sent on October 15, 2014. I am still waiting on an answer to that one. Apart from this experience, I will relate one of the absolute worst experiences I've ever had at a business place. It was around 2008. Now mind you, the Chaguanas branch has had some of the most unfriendly staff in general on the entire planet. I place my item on the conveyor. All is well. They are scanned. No issue yet. I hand over my membership card and credit card. The cashier looks at the membership card, looks at me, looks at card. I ask, doesn't the picture look like me? Response, yeah, it looking like you, but you don't look like you could own a business.
What? 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 What?
Well, if you know me, that didn't stop there. Another case of extreme bad member service was soon after they stopped supplying paper bags in their cost-cutting, environmentally friendly initiative. This was way before I got my card. I went to another cashier's station to retrieve one of the boxes. The cashier looks at me and shouts, "Hey, where you going with that?" "I going to pack goods," was my response. "That is for my customers. You operating a different shop from PriceSmart?" And I walk off. When they had now launched their online purchasing system, I thought it was an epic move. No longer will I have to deal with the levels of bad service, member service that seems to have become a trademark of PriceSmart Trinidad. I had bought 3 tablets through the system. I followed the instructions to collect. Lo and behold, not one person at Mousica knew how the collection worked. I asked from floor person to the elusive supervisor. Shoulder shrugs and walk-offs seemed to be the order of the day. Finally, I got through to the electronics person. At that time, there was a little section for the small electronics that was serviced by one of their workers. After explanation after explanation, he finally understood that I was there to collect. This operation took over 2 hours. I thank heavens that I have a lenient employer, or else I may have been unemployed. I won't relate any more of these types of stories, but know that I've had more of these experiences than not. I'll jump directly to the last straw. Many people who hear this story say I'm overreacting. Others say I was well within my rights. Mind you, this comes after a string of horrid service, including one where the greeter actually had me waiting while she confirmed my card. A friend and I decided to visit the Mausica location in 2015. We got a few items from inside the store. Amazingly, this was quite a smooth transaction, one of the very few times. The cashier was actually quite pleasant. We went to the food court. We ordered. Now, mind you, it's our lunch break. We have to get back to work. We bought ice creams for some other staff members, and these come in open cups. I ask nicely for a cover. The cashier/server shouts, "We don't give cover for that." I beseech her, "Just pay two please, we have to go in the car with it and we don't want to make a mess." The seller responds to a member, "I don't tell you, we don't give cover for that. Next." Now that's not all. I go inside to relate the situation to the greeter. She directs me to the counter. I explain again to the counter person. She just stares at me. I ask, "Are you going to respond? If not, just get a supervisor or manager here, please." She starts dealing with another customer. Not a care in the world. I once again asks if she's not going to deal with it. Another staff member says she'll go to get the supervisor. She comes back and says one is not available. Talk about membership benefits. I say I want to speak with a supervisor or manager now. The security is making his way to the counter. I am not shouting, nor am I in any way belligerent. I look at him and say, "You don't work for PriceSmart. Maybe you could get a supervisor to come from your company to deal with a customer complaint from PriceSmart?" He snickers. Another customer laughs. It is then another staff member goes to find the supervisor. She is successful in finding the elusive and endangered species that is a PriceSmart supervisor. He seems to be in a bad mood, or is it normal for PriceSmart? Anyway, he asks, "What is the issue?" I once again relate the issue to him. Can you imagine his response? A. Says he will investigate. B. Apologizes. C. Offers a solution. D. None of the above. Do you need more time? The answer, of course, is D. As per PriceSmart policy, apparently, he just walks off. I follow. "What are you going to do about it?" I ask. Of course, no answer. He walks into the food court, walks to the back of the counter. Mind you, he has come from only where he knows, and just enters the food prep area. He picks up one of the covers and hands it to me. I say, "Thank you, I need two." He grudgingly gives me another. Scene ends with our antagonist walking off stage left. No conversation to me, nor the counter staff. Great going, PriceSmart, for member service. So this wasn't bad enough. I decide to call the outlet, just for fun, to see what their response would be. As per PriceSmart policy, again, the phone goes unanswered. Amazingly, on the 6th or 7th retry, someone answers. She identifies herself. For anonymity, I will not say her name. After relating the situation to her, she tells me that policy says they don't give covers for ice cream, and whoever gave me one in the past was wrong. A plastic cover costing this multi-billion-dollar transnational company less than a TT cent can't be spared for a customer, I ask. Well, I am corrected. PriceSmart doesn't have customers, it has members. So I restate my statement using member instead of customer. I also state that if this is how members are treated, I'd hate to see how you would treat us if we were mere customers. Somehow this seemed to have touched a nerve. She says she will take my number and have the manager call me. I must say, the manager, who I will leave unnamed again, is quite a pleasant person. I've dealt with him many times before. I gave him this story. He says that something like that should not have happened and it should have been accommodated. It was not a huge request and it costs nothing to make the member happy. I tell him, you see it that way. Why don't you train your workers with that attitude? He responds, but they do. Again, I say, but the person answering the phones made it clear that I should not have been given the cover this time nor in the past. He says, as he always does when we are in these conversations, he will take the feedback and it will allow changes to be made in the organization to better the members. I say, I sincerely hope it does, because you will not be numbering me as a returning member. He once again apologizes for the bad, member service I have had and asks if he could do anything to change my mind. I say when there is some improvement, maybe. And you know what? Seeing all the bad customer/member service complaints on the various bad service groups on Facebook, I think I made the right decision. What do you think? Leave it in the comments. Or you could always PM me if you know me personally. Thank you.